Communication in Business Contexts, CBC1501. Portfolio of Evidence, POE, Assessment 3. Unique number, 807631. Total marks, 100. Weighting, summative. 2. Study, all learning units, LU 1 to 11, and all instructional materials and resources on MyUnisa. This assessment can be submitted only once. NO extensions can be granted. NO submissions via email will be accepted. NO resubmissions will be accepted. Late submissions are not allowed. Ensure that the assessment that you submit is the final and complete copy. This assessment is compulsory. Include the signed declaration with this assessment to avoid penalization. Do not password protected files. Submit before the closing time to avoid challenges. Mark allocation for the POE. Mark allocation for the POE, Assessment 3. Task. Description. Marks. Question 1. Google Docs in the Google Drive folder. 5. Question 2. Essay. 30. Question 3. Memorandum. 25. Question 4. Standard operating procedures. 25. Self-assessment and self-reflection. Answers to questions posed. 5. Overall technical presentation. Declaration, table of contents, overall. Introduction and overall conclusion. 10. Total. 100. Assessment format and instructions. The assessment consists of 4 questions, namely: the Google documents in the Google Drive folder, the essay, the memorandum, and the standard operating procedures document. Your assessment must be typed out. The correct compilation and sequence of this assessment are: cover page, declaration of own work submitted, 3. Table of contents, 4. Introduction, V. Body of assignment, answers to the assignment questions, 6. Conclusion, 7. Answers to the self-assessment and reflection questions, 8. List of sources consulted. The assignment must contain a personal declaration that the work you have submitted is your own. The Declaration of Academic Integrity is a legally binding document that every university has for students. The declaration must be included after the cover page of your assignment. The declaration is available on MyUnisa under Additional Resources and is in MS Word format. The declaration must be signed by yourself and a witness. You will be penalized if you do not submit the declaration, or if it is incomplete or not signed. We accept typed signatures and e-signatures if you do not have access to a scanner. We have provided a copy of the declaration on the page immediately following these instructions. General rules relating to the overall presentation of the assignment must be adhered to. Your presentation should not contain language, spelling or typing errors. We discourage the use of personal forms of address in business writing, unless otherwise stated. Headings and numbering, where required, should be presented in the correct format. You must adhere to the correct format, structure and stylistic requirements of each piece of writing, as required by the relevant assignment question. Failure to follow these guidelines will result in the loss of marks. The exam portfolio has exam status. Therefore, you should not email us for every small detail. Read the portfolio instructions carefully and go through all the recordings of the classes. Send us an email, using your MyLife email account, for very urgent matters only. We have discussed everything in class, and we have provided detailed instructions for the exam portfolio. Hence, everything should be clear. Online classes 9 and 10 particularly discuss the exam portfolio. Watch the recordings of these. The recordings are available on the welcome page of the course site. Watch this video to see how to access the recordings. https://youtube.be/e817ppk1nd4 feature $shared. Avoid plagiarism, copying from other students and sources, and using any AI tools for this assessment. This would entail academic misconduct, and the consequences thereof are grave. Download the exam portfolio instructions as soon as the portal opens. Upload the completed answer script early to avoid issues. No extensions will be granted. No submissions via email will be accepted. Do not password protect files. Ensure that you upload the exam portfolio successfully before submitting it. Also, ensure that you upload the correct document. Make sure that you save the file correctly in PDF format so that the file is not corrupted. Upload a single PDF file with all your answers on the My Modules site before the portal closes. No extra time will be granted as you have 3 days to complete the portfolio. Check Declaration of Originality. In this module, you are required to add point 7 to this. Point 7 must be your own positive declaration on the tools that you used in creating this essay. This could include search engines, such as www.google.com, scholarly search engines, such as scholar.google.com, conversations with people, artificial intelligence tools that summarized arguments, or any other tool that cannot be referenced as a source for a particular aspect of your essay but that contributed to your writing process. In brief, give an overview of how you approached the writing of this essay so that the declaration is not merely a statement of what you did not do, but also of what you did do. 1. Technical Presentation, 10. Ensure that this assignment complies with the departmental requirements for the technical presentation of assignments. The Department of Communication Science has specific formatting guidelines to which you need to adhere precisely. Consult Tutorial Letter 301, CNAL/301, for extensive guidelines on technical presentation. Read and take cognizance of the section on plagiarism. Additional guidelines, specific to this course, are provided on MyUnisa. The technical presentation criteria applicable to Assessment 3 are as follows. 1.1 Mark allocation for technical presentation. Mark allocation for technical presentation. Task. Description. Marks. Declaration. The assignment must contain the declaration of originality that appears on page 4 to confirm that the work you have submitted is your own. This declaration is also available on MyUnisa, under Additional Resources. If you do not submit the declaration, or if it is incomplete or not signed, you will be penalized. 2. Table of Contents. The table of contents must correspond with the numbering, headings and subheadings in the assignment. Correct page numbers must be supplied. 4. Overall Introduction. An introduction to the overall assignment must be included. It should begin with a short description of business communication and should end with a clear reference to what will be discussed in the assignment. This could consist of a short description of the assignment questions, without writing down the actual questions, as well as of the self-assessment and self-reflection questions. The introduction should not be longer than 1 paragraph and should be written in a formal tone. 2. Overall Conclusion. A conclusion to the overall assignment must be included, in which a short summary is given about what has been discussed in the assignment. Do not introduce any new information here, just summarize what has been done. The conclusion should not be longer than one paragraph and should be written in a formal tone. 2. Total. 10. 2. Question 1, Google Drive and Google Docs. 5. You must use Google Docs to type out the portfolio of evidence, POE. As the student, you are required to create a folder called CBC1501-POE_2024_S1 on Google Drive and then save the portfolio document in this folder. The links for both folders, for Assessment 2 and the portfolio, must be included in the portfolio document. You must also provide the links for both documents for Assessment 2 and the portfolio. 2. Once you have completed the POE using Google Docs, you must download the document and convert it to PDF. Then submit the PDF document to the Moodle platform. The lecturers and markers will use the provided links to confirm that Google Docs and Google Drive were indeed used. For you to get the full 5 marks for question 1, you need to use Google Docs when doing the portfolio and Assessment 2. The links for both Assessment 2 and the portfolio must be provided. The marker must be able to access the folder and the documents via the links provided to check whether Google Docs and Google Drive were indeed used. 2.1 Mark allocation for Google Drive and Docs. Mark allocation for question 1, Google Drive and Docs. Task. Description. Marks. 1. Portfolio of evidence links. 1.1 The links for the portfolio of evidence are provided. 1.2 The links for the folder and document are accessible and working. 1.3 The naming conventions are correct. 2.5 2. Assignment 01 links. 2.1 The links for Assessment 2 are provided. 2.2 The links for the folder and document are accessible and working. 2.3 The naming conventions are correct. 2.5 Total. 5. 3. Main scenario. The student must read the below scenario before answering questions 2 to 4. Communication is an important tool that is used by organizations across the world. It is the glue that holds together the daily operations of organizations. This communication is done via writing different documents and various other forms of employee communication in the workplace. For example, employees communicate with clients and customers or within the organization via emails and/or memoranda. Communication can be formal and/or informal, verbal and/or nonverbal, digital and/or face-to-face. If the communication is done effectively, everything tends to flow and run smoothly. Poor communication is very easy to miss or ignore and may seem like the least of your priorities as an employee of an organization. These kinds of subtle problems can persist and exacerbate confusion, doubt, and bad feelings within a company. This can lead to the degradation of morale, project delays, and the burning of important bridges between staff members or clients. Therefore, organizations conduct various studies that investigate the communication skills and satisfaction among their employees. One of the biggest accounting firms in South Africa, S&G Grant Thornton, decided to conduct a survey in the company to determine employees' perceptions of their communication skills, with regard to written communication, face-to-face and digital communication, formal and informal communication, and verbal and nonverbal communication. In other words, the aim was to determine accounting professionals' perceptions of their communication competence. The findings of the survey revealed that most employees tend to think of themselves as above average when it comes to writing skills, while some admitted to having problems with writing. The survey also found that some of the employees have common problems related to written communication, such as writing that lacks clarity and tends to confuse the reader. Moreover, the survey revealed that most employees were not confident with respect to face-to-face communication as they had a poor self-image. This survey, thus, indicated the importance of the effect of self-image on workplace relations for accountants and how one's interaction with clients and colleagues influences one's ability to communicate assertively. The survey results also revealed that many employees failed to consider how the receiver interprets the language used in the communication. Part of the existing literature emphasizes that the communicator must be cautious of the verbal and nonverbal communication she uses, as others can perceive and interpret the message in different ways. In unfortunate cases, it could cause offense where none was intended. Unless you have established a solid working relationship, it is best to refrain from humor or sarcasm until you have a conversation on the phone or face-to-face. Therefore, it is important to ensure that the message is encoded carefully. Communicators, thus, should be aware of intentional and unintentional messages that they share through verbal and nonverbal communication. Similarly, several studies which focused on writing as communication in the workplace indicated that failure to communicate properly in the workplace can create several problems that may be difficult to fix. These failures in communication may vary from obvious to subtle and should be handled with the respect they deserve. Written communication is supposed to eliminate doubt and confusion. Confusion is not something you want to leave your readers with, therefore, it is advisable to avoid presenting a piece of work that has too many details, big paragraphs, and lengthy sentences. Most importantly, a piece of written communication must be an organized and concise piece of work. In addition, studies indicate that most people, ranging from professors to drivers, rate themselves as having above-average overall communication skills, which is not a realistic statistic. Therefore, SNG Grant Thornton decided to invite Professor Femfu Adiham to facilitate a writing retreat to assist the company's employees with their professional communication skills. Professor Adiham is a well-renowned writer and a communication specialist who has a special interest in assertive behavior in the workplace. She is a former dean of the University of Venda, and she has also worked at the University of Pretoria and the University of the Free State. She has published many articles that focused on good communication skills in the organization. The writing retreat will take place from 18 to March 25, 2024 at Batpla's Forever Resort in Mpumalanga. The retreat will cover the steps in the writing process, task analysis before the writing process starts, gathering information or research, the planning stage, what needs to be written, writing the body of the work, presenting the final draft, correcting poor grammar, avoiding unnecessary repetition, revising for clarity, presenting the final work, and referencing and double-checking if the references are correctly formatted. 4. Question 2, Essay 30. 2. Study, LUs 1 to 11. Instructions. Read the main scenario provided on page 7 and then complete the following task. You have already completed the planning stage of the essay in Assessment 2. Now you need to provide the full essay. Write an essay of approximately 500 to 600 words discussing the effect of self-image on accountants' workplace relations and how one's interaction with clients and colleagues influences one's ability to communicate in an assertive manner. Explain the nature of being aggressive, and how aggression can be avoided in the workplace. Give relevant examples to explain these concepts. Your essay should include the following. 4.1 Evidence that your writing is planned and presented logically. 4.2 A definition of the concept of self-image and its impact on communication. 4.3 An understanding of, and a reference to any three dimensions of self-image. 4.4 An explanation of how to be assertive and avoid being aggressive. Presentation requirements. Format. Provide evidence of planning/brainstorming. O. Provide an appropriate heading/title for your essay. Organize your answer logically and coherently. Remember to present your answer in essay format. Do not write in point form at all. Content O. Begin with an introduction that highlights the topic to be discussed. Complete the body of the essay. You have already provided a topic sentence and a substantiating statement for each of the 5 paragraphs for the body of the essay. Now, complete these paragraphs to ensure that you have a logically linked, coherent essay. Black small square in each paragraph. After providing important theoretical arguments per aspect delineated above, apply each aspect practically against the backdrop of the given scenario. Remember to correctly cite the theoretical aspects in text and provide the full list of sources consulted at the end of the assignment. End the essay with an appropriate conclusion. Language. You will also be marked on the correct use of spelling, grammar, punctuation, and writing fluency, as well as precise referencing. Academic integrity. Marks will be deducted should plagiarism be detected. Where large portions of text have been plagiarized, you will receive 0% for this question and may be subjected to disciplinary action. Read and make sure you understand all the information on plagiarism and academic writing in Tutorial Letter 301, CNAL/301. Ensure that the information in your essay is paraphrased and correctly referenced, in text and in the list of sources consulted. You should utilize all your study materials. Find 2 additional sources of information to draft your essay. Cite all sources consulted in text and in the list of sources consulted, including tutorial letters, the study guide, the prescribed book and additional resources. Place the sources consulted at the end of your assignment. Use the correct referencing techniques in the text of the assignment and the list of sources consulted. Reference all study material correctly, as per the departmental requirements outlined in Tutorial Letter 301, CNAL/301. Quotations may not exceed 10% of your work. You may not copy and paste any material from any sources of information. You may not rewrite content from the scenario. You will not receive any marks if you do so. 4.1.2 Essay. Mark allocation for Question 2, Essay. Task. Description. Marks. 1. Format and layout. 1.1 Title. 2. 1.2 Planning, brainstorming. 2. 2. Grammar and language. 2.1 Articulation, tense, fluency, sentence structure, formal tone, logical flow and paragraph structure. 3.5 2.2 Spelling and punctuation. 1.5 3 Content. 3.1 Introduction, including thesis statement and overview of content. 2. 3.2 Definition of self-image, impact on communication. 4. 3.3 Three dimensions of self-image. 3. 3.4 How to be assertive and avoid being aggressive. 3. 3.4 Practical examples. 3. 3.5 In-text referencing and list of sources consulted. 4. 3.6 Conclusion. 2. Penalization, if any. Format, layout and structure. Referencing, plagiarism and paraphrasing. Total. 30. 5. Question 3, Memorandum writing, 25. 2. Study, LUs 1 to 11. Instructions. Read the main scenario provided on page 7 and then complete the following task. As Feluso Makuva, an assistant of the CEO, you have been tasked with drafting a memorandum of approximately 350 words, inviting all employees of SNG Grant Thornton's accounting department on his behalf, persuading staff to attend the writing retreat at Badpla's Forever Resort in Mpumalanga from 18 to March 25, 2024. You must describe the importance of good writing skills and the aspects that employees will benefit from when attending this writing retreat, focusing particularly on the following 3 stages in the writing process: O. Task analysis, O. Planning, and O. Revising for clarity. Also, encourage employees to forward their suggestions on how to make the training drive more enjoyable. Follow the standard format for structuring an organizational memorandum. Your memorandum should reflect some strong motivations and persuasions for staff in all the aspects mentioned above. Your writing should be O. Persuasive and motivational, O. Logical and coherent. Relevant to the scenario, you are welcome to expand on the ideas portrayed in the scenario creatively, as long as you remain within the context of the scenario. Fluent and grammatically correct. 5.1.3 Memorandum. 6. Question 4, Standard Operating Procedures, 25. 2. Study, LUs 1 to 11. Instructions. Read the main scenario provided on page 7 and then complete the following task. You are the section head of the accounting department at SNG Grant Thornton. New employees will be joining the accounting department on April 1, 2024, and you are required to draw up a Standard Operating Procedures (SOP) document with guidelines on successfully writing communication documents in the organization. Since you attended the writing retreat facilitated by Professor Femfu Adiham, you have the necessary knowledge and have mastered the writing skills that she shared regarding the steps in the writing process. Take note of the following when drawing up the chronological list of instructions for prospective new employees. Use the correct format and adhere to the stylistic requirements for an SOP document, according to the specific guidelines of this course. Provide an appropriate heading. Describe the scope and purpose of this set of SOPs. O. Indicate the affected departments. O. Set out the procedures. You must provide 10 SOPs. O. Use an impersonal tone of address in your writing. O. Start each instruction with an appropriate imperative. Ensure that your imperatives are relevant and applicable to the context and the scenario provided. Ensure that the instructions are listed chronologically, that is, they should form an ordered list of instructions. Avoid repetition of instructions. Also, refrain from writing long-winded instructions. Be clear and concise with each instruction. You will also be marked on the correct use of spelling and grammar in your writing. 6.1.4 SOPs. Mark allocation for question 4, Standard Operating Procedures. Task. Description. Marks. 1. Format and layout. 1.1 Header, heading structures, numbering structures, topic and purpose, scope, affected departments, alignment, etc. 10. 2. Grammar and language. 2.1 Articulation, tense, fluency, sentence structure, formal tone, logical flow and paragraph structure. 3.5. 2.2 Spelling and punctuation. 1.5. 3. Content. 3.1 Commands/imperatives. 10. Penalization, if any. Format, layout and structure. Rewriting the scenario or other sources. Total. 25. 7. Self-assessment and self-reflection questions, 5. Answer the following questions in full sentences. What have you learnt? What knowledge have you gained by doing this assessment, and what shortcomings have you identified? What skills, abilities and orientations, attitudes and values, have you acquired by refining the essay from the previous submission, Assessment 2, and working with Google Drive and Google Docs? Which strengths could you apply in your future life and work environment in relation to the learning outcomes formulated for this module? Refer to each learning outcome in this respect. See Section 2.2 of Tutorial Letter 101. 7.1 Mark allocation for self-assessment and self-reflection questions. Mark allocation for self-assessment and self-reflection. Task. Description. Marks. 1. Format and layout. Alignment, numbering, heading. 1. 2. Grammar and language. Spelling, articulation, tense, punctuation, fluency, sentence structure, formal tone. 1. 3. Content. Questions 1 to 3. 3. Total. 5. The end. Thank you for watching, and good luck.